counsellor, but what is really great is that right now we need your input during this COVID time.
Okay, hello everyone. It's nice to see you today. I hope you're well and I hope you're safe. So I work with predominantly autistic clients who feel that they're not really talked to or acknowledged properly as valued members of society. The one thing that is a common feature with the clients I see is they always feel that when people are talking to them, as you said, Vanessa, before, when they don't understand you, or when they get to a point, they reach a point of saturation where they can't take on any information, then you're the problem. They're no longer the problem anymore, you're the problem. And they always talk to you in a way as if you're not able to link up to your mental faculties in which to account for yourself properly. So the work I do with clients is really important. First of all, I'm talking to a human being to human being, not human being to problem, not human being to, oh, okay, what you have some kind of autism, what is this? Does it mean that you don't quite know what to say? So we get a lot of these problems with so-called professional people. But there are so-called professional people out there who do care, who are aware. I don't want it to become them and us. I don't want it to be this group and that group. What we're doing, and what a lot of professional people are doing, like Vanessa with her organisation and other people who are promoting autism, is we're trying to bridge the gap between neurotypical and neurodiverse understanding and communication. So if we don't understand each other, how can we move on? You know, it's as simple as that. And the thing is society has got a lot of problems. I think it's predominantly a neurotypical society. I don't think they're doing it maliciously. I just think it's to do with early philosophical underpinnings, to do with like Plato, Aristotle, and then the French Renaissance, and then phenomenology. So our society is based on old models to do with society and to do with the way that people are governed and the way that people live. But when you live in a society like that, it means that there's always some kind of model and there's always some kind of encouragement for people to sort of like work towards a particular goal that everybody can identify with. So I think society is doing its best. But the model we live in, the society we have, based on old philosophical underpinnings, Aristotle, Plato, phenomenology, that was years ago. So we need to come up to date. We need to think about where we are now, where our awareness is now. And I think with COVID-19 especially highlighting inequality, racial inequality, disability inequality, gender inequality, this is the thing. Our society has a lot that it gives us, and they really do try and help us get on. But I think also it encourages this kind of inequality as well. So it would be really nice to have a society which is more geared towards neurodiverse awareness, full stop. It shouldn't even be a description. It should just be really natural. It should be really organic. It should be a part of the way that we all interact with each other. So with my clients, I help them develop coping strategies. I help work on their self-esteem. But most importantly, I'm talking to them to be, as a human being, to be able to help them be aware that you don't just have problems, neurotypical people have problems too. You don't just have worries around socializing, neurotypical people do as well. And so I think the other thing that I'm really concerned about is single parent families, especially women who are mothers on their own, looking after children. And the easiest thing to do to a child when you're bringing them up with autism, because otherwise they might have a meltdown and they might have that for a day or the whole week or the whole month, but they may not forget things which made them unhappy. But the thing is we can teach children a lot, because I work with children, adolescents and adults. as long we can make that learning in a fun way, so we can teach coping strategies, we can work with challenging behaviour, as long as it's fun and as long as it's recognised routines and activities that children like to do, then they're listening, then you've got their attention. But first you have to help them feel relaxed, and you have to help them feel that, because they might be a bit overwhelmed, they might have a lot of things going on in their heads. And especially when you're a child, it's very confusing, because you're trying to make sense of the world, but you're also trying to make sense of this condition that nobody really knows how to interact with you properly. And there's a lot of fear and nervousness at times from neurotypical people, how to talk to this person with autism. So I hope that's given you a little bit more information about what I do and what I think and how I feel about people who have neurodiversities. The other thing to say really quickly is, according to this book here it is, it's called Shadow Syndromes. That basically talks about every single person having a shadow syndrome of a neurodiversity. Now, if that's the case, and every human being has a neurodiversity to a lesser or a greater degree, then why are we insisting that we interact with each other in this really neurotypical model? I can see that it works. I can see that this is the way that, you know, commerce works and all of that, and governmental departments and all of that. But there's been a huge, I think, shift, a mental shift of thought about the way we interact with people, the way we talk to people, the way we try to help people who have disabilities too. So what about COVID-19? What about the way that autistic people have been factored into this or haven't been factored into this? Well, you hear a lot about care homes on the news to do with COVID-19. But whenever I see that, it's always associated with old people. I've only seen recently, within the last 4 weeks, maybe other examples of care homes where maybe other people have disabilities, but that's only been now. It wasn't the first time COVID-19 was here in the first lockdown. So again, it must be really difficult for people at home in lockdown, single parent mothers, trying to fulfill all the support needs of their children with autism. And they don't have the specific knowledge that professionals out there do, like occupational therapists, maybe social workers, can help them linked up to direct payments, to help do Care Act assessment, to recognise what their specific needs are relating to their autism. So when I'm working with clients, I've also got my mentor hat on. So I'm not just listening as a counsellor, I'm listening to what their needs are. I'm linking them up to people who I know run an organisation to help people with autism find employment. So I'm always talking to people like that, and I'm signposting them to other organisations and services. You have to know a lot of information. You have to have a lot of different hats that you're wearing. But it's really good that you're able to have that in-depth understanding of the client, because then we can really start looking at the practical solutions, the coping strategies, updating the coping strategies, the trigger points towards being overwhelmed. And the most important thing, getting to know the condition. There's getting to know the condition on a general terms, but there's getting to know the condition on an individual basis. So please don't buy in to what people think you should be, or what people think how you should act and things like that. Please listen to your gut feeling. It's really important. Your gut feeling is always there trying to guide you. So we work with things like that. And this is me, this is Leslie Stanberry. I hope you found this interesting. A lot of love, light and healing energy to you. And yeah, we'll talk later.
Thank you, Leslie. So what I'm going to do, like I said, we're going to find some dates, and so people know where to find you. Well, one, to find some dates so we can do this presentation that you did years ago. I'm sure it's changed a great deal. But I think due to COVID now, I think we have to look at how we can support the autistic family during COVID. And I think it's so important. And as I said, it's about the autistic voice having something to say and not always from the neurotypical way. Because I've seen the damage that has been caused right now in COVID with families having children that are becoming suicidal, self-injuries, change of behavior. And I think it's so important that we have to talk, because we're not getting it from a lot of the mainstream services. So any family out there right now, we're going to just deal with it and make sure that you're dealing with people that know how to support your child or support your well-being as well. So thank you, Leslie.
You're welcome.
And we'll catch up. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop